This episode is brought to you by thegreekgiftshop.com. They offer a variety of fraternity and sorority items, including specialty coffee mugs and Greek watch faces for your smartwatch. Visit www.thegreekgiftshop.com and find something special for someone special. Honoring those trailblazers who preceded us is just as important as leaving a legacy for those who will follow us. Greekly Speaking is about highlighting Greeks today who are creating positive change for tomorrow. We hope you enjoyed this episode. Hi, welcome to Greekly Speaking. I'm Eric Tucker, and joining me for this episode is Joe Roland IV of Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated. Joe was initiated in the Omicron Sigma chapter of Phi Beta Sigma in the spring of 2011. He's an assistant principal in that Houston, Texas area. He's the owner of Joe Thomas Management Group, LLC, which is an up-and-coming business consulting firm. And he also recently completed a term serving as Regional Director of Education for the Gulf Coast region of Phi Beta Sigma. Please welcome, for the second time, my fraternity brother, Joe Roland. How are you doing today, man?
Doing good, bro. Actually, I got something for you. I didn't want to tell you until we got started. I need to mail this to you. So I have this thing called the Power Circle of people that are working to better other people, people that I trust. And tonight I'm gonna make you an honorary member. And so everybody that's in my Power Circle, they get one of these. And you can't read it. It's blurred with my background, but it says, when I focus and make the efforts to do my best, I win in all that I do. And then in bold letters at the bottom, it says, be 10 times better. So a lot of people that I trust, only people that I trust are in that circle, but I'm gonna make you an honorary member tonight because you've been killing it, bro. I love what you do for our community and for everybody, not just for Sigma, but us in general. So, man, I love that energy. You keep that up. Welcome to the Power Circle.
Oh man, definitely. Hey, I made it now, man. I heard Les Brown say one time that, hey, you want to make sure you have the right circle. And if you're the smartest person in the circle, you need a new circle. And all I'm trying to do is take that to heart and not only surround myself with positive people, but shine lights on positive actions, man. And you're definitely one of those figures, man. I've known you for a minute now. I've seen some of the work that you've been doing, and I've had a chance to watch your engagement and your production, man, after the fact. So, hey, I'm excited too. Hey, it's the second time around for you. How's it going?
Great, man. Great. I appreciate you having me on. A lot's happened since, I was cooking for that school that was on Netflix, what I'm saying, teaching that culinary arts class, which was kind of laid in my lap. Like I said, I've actually launched a whole new LLC since then, and I've been blessed to put some pieces in place, still building, put some pieces in place to be a blessing to others also.
And for those of you who may not have caught him on that original episode, Joe, he's being modest. He had a chance to, display his culinary skills as far as content creation and production for the university that was featured on a very popular Netflix show called Last Chance U. And man, my son hit me to that show. We've been addicted to it, man. So to even be affiliated with the school that is getting that much notoriety, man, we know that took a lot to get that type of recognition. So congratulations to you. Just keep knocking out these milestones, man.
Yeah, it's been good. So like I said, in June 30th, 2020, I launched another business called Joe Thomas Management Group. My original LLC, Joe Thomas Consulting Group, was in 2014. And so, man, I tell you what, I knew that there was money to be made, with this shift. And it was a big money grab with COVID, with all the funding and different things that were available. I just woke up one day and I had this idea. I was like, I'm gonna start a new business. And I'm going to start it from scratch because I want to teach other people how to do it the right way. Not saying I didn't do it the right way the first time. It just, I learned a lot in the last, 7 years since I did the first one, and learning how to build business credit without using your personal credit, how to get funding, certain types of funding, how to navigate different pieces, for that, and some different business ventures that open up when you manage the pieces the right way. And in fact, this company that I started last year is more valuable to me than the one that I had for 7 years. Basically on necessarily setting it up properly, putting the right pieces in place, and then also having the right people around me to help me navigate different business ventures and certain pieces that I help, set my family up in the future pretty well.
And we were talking in the setup for the segment, about networks and having the circle put in place, people that can support you and your goals and people that can help you do it, partners, if you will, right? So, a lot of times we come up with these ideas and we think we can do it alone. We find out that no matter how good the idea is, hey, there are some resources that you need to bring into it to really have it recognize the full potential, right?
Well, I tell people all the time, you can agree or disagree. Your friends should make you money or they should make you better. They should make you better spiritually, financially, health-wise, or something to that effect. And so, like I said, with this power circle, anybody's in a circle makes me better in one way or the other, or, iron sharpens iron, we work with another. I got people in my corner literally that I trust with my daughter, which is huge, and they make me money, you know what I'm saying? But it's not just about the monetary aspect of it. It's that we pour into each other. And you need people like that in your corner. And I've been blessed to have people with great energy and keep them close to me. And we feed off of each other.
So talk to us a little bit about how the car rental company started, because I saw a post that you had out on Facebook. And I'm like, man, is he taking it to that level? This is, I'm like, this is awesome, man.
Again, that doesn't have to do anything with my LLC. My LLC and my web, JTMG Services.com, is all about helping educate people about making their business better, building business credit for free. Like I do that for free consultation and help people, because I want to help people navigate that in a, kind of like a directory for you, like having an affiliates page and so forth. And I have different contracts out with various school districts and different people that I can't necessarily talk about because we have NDAs in place, which is basically a non-disclosure agreement. So I got a buddy named Phil. My boy, him and I met through our ladies. They're actually Zetas. They're both of them are Zetas. And so him and I started playing tennis together in October and November. And we're kind of like minded, about the hustle, creating multiple streams of income. And so he's been serving me up in tennis, but we've been bouncing ideas about our businesses. And he told me, hey, man, I'm looking to get into Turo. I'm going to get a car, my business name, blah, blah. It's foreign to me. I was like, all right, man, that's cool, whatever. He's like, do you want to go half on one? I was like, ooh. Sounds great. Let me know how they go. And so then 3 months passed and he had 3 cars. And then all he did was he took his phone and he started scrolling and showing me the money that was coming in. And I said, hey, man, this may not be a bad thing. And so when I talk about people in your power circle being able to influence you, and he took me to an event called Business Over Breakfast that they had with different entrepreneurs. And just like you said, that energy. And I just said, hey, man, I'm going to give it a go. And so he helped me navigate a lot of pieces. And there were some hoops to jump through, so forth like that, to where I was able to find a great dealership, find a finance company that does business financing, which is tough. There's only like 3 banks that will finance for your business. Building relationships off of his relationships that he established. And so you can't be with people that are jank because they have janky relationships. You need people that are of great character, because sometimes your friends have to rely on your brand, right? And so he has a good brand in the street in how he connects people. And so long story short, got the car, got it ready to go, put a tracker on it, all this stuff and put it on, from the verbiage, everything. Him and his wife helped me. They really helped me down with that. And I'm not necessarily going to disclose the amount of money that I made the first month, but just know I'm literally going to go pick up another car tomorrow. And another thing, time is valuable. What took him 3 months to do and build took me 20 days because of his support. You know what I'm saying? I was coaching a friend yesterday in tennis, and there's some pieces that it took me months to figure out that I was able to explain to them quickly. And what took me months to figure out took them 30 minutes. I don't know if you saw, I launched my mentorship program too with the young man that just graduated from Crowley ISD, North Crowley High School. He was a school class president there, launched his own young youth group for Fort Worth, Texas. The young brother by the name of Elijah Strong, who's going on a full scholarship to Wiley for debate, right? And so he and I just happened to be Facebook friends, and he was looking for a laptop. He does digital design. He's actually ran campaigns for city councilman in Fort Worth. Like the brother was sharp, not saying I'm recruiting, cough, out the gate, but you got to recognize talent. But God just told me, hey man, I need you to put some pieces in place to help this young brother out. So I asked him, I said, hey man, I got a laptop. I actually have a MacBook. And he was like, yeah. And I said, all right. So I met with him, met with his parent, got the paperwork up and signed him up for a 40-week internship. He'll be working with me on my social media, handling all that over through May. And he got the laptop immediately, and then he's going to be doing video blogs with 2-minute small business tips. So he's helping me continue to build my brand while he learns, and I help him navigate some pieces. And then when he finishes, he's going to get like a $550 small business grant, so that whatever he decides to do, or if he needs support in his small business, he can do that as well. And we'll be hopefully, I've already got people wanting their kids or young men to sign up for 2022 too. So I believe not just with my friends and people on my level, we got to reach down too and to come up. And so for me, that was a no-brainer, you know what I'm saying? And because the kids, he's going to be great regardless if Joe Roland impacts his life. I just want to be a part of his journey, you know what I'm saying, and give him a little leg up right now. But the kid is going places for sure.
I love this, man. And that's what it takes to, share what you learn. And, if you think about that village concept, and he's never going to forget you. I think this is the right direction where we need to be going. What kind of feedback are you hearing from some of your clients?
So the thing is, man, the biggest piece is I hear when they talk about like, man, no one, either they charge me and it's something I can find on YouTube or they're stingy with the support, whatever thing, you just gave it to me like it was nothing. I said, because my value isn't in the monetary position. I'm gonna get money. I'm gonna find ways in other avenues. It's not gonna be through support. That my blessing is seeing you grow. And so the two things occur when I give people this overflow of information. Either they come back for more or they get overwhelmed and say, hey, I didn't realize there's so many pieces and so many layers and there's something I'm gonna have to sit and take some time with. And so what I've learned when it comes to supporting and helping people with their vision is give them the support, show them the benefits of it. It's up to them to grow. Once it's left there, I may check on them here and there, but I have to continue to move forward. They have to take ownership of their own growth and learning just as much. Because sometimes some people I support and help, they're like, oh man, I didn't know it was gonna be like that. Or, oh, I didn't know the costs or things that the investment, the sweat equity for managing a business along with my full-time job. I didn't realize it took that much. Everybody has a different why. My why is changing the trajectory of lives of young people of color and also making my daughter's life very comfortable. You know what I'm saying? And putting her in a position to where she didn't have to have the lifestyle that I grew up with, you know what I'm saying? So that's my why. That's what drives me. That to, getting my health in order. A lot of people don't talk about aspects of the whole person. When we think about in education, we talk about educating the whole child. There's more that goes on than 1+1 or whatever in schools. We have social emotional learning in different aspects of that. And so for me, I had to start looking at the whole person of Joe Roland and say, hey, man, I have to own that I got to get better at some of these pieces if I'm going to be successful and help others. I can't pour from an empty cup.
And speaking of, thinking about that generation that follows us, I want to turn back the hands of time a little bit. You have someone who's near and dear to you, your great-grandmother, and this is a special woman. Talk to me, man, because she played a part in history that a lot of us are happy that the Juneteenth is being recognized in a manner in which it should. Talk to us about this special person.
Right. So my great-grandma, in my eyes, she's always been big time. She's always been big time. So there was a photo shared in our internet work of Phi Beta Sigma, a story they posted about me and her in her walk after the bill got signed. And so we had these moments while we were walking where I'm cracking jokes with her. I'm really, trying to help her, hold her up, keep her cool and different things like that. And she's just so rich with history. But the whole time we were talking, our conversation was generally about some history in Fort Worth, but also what's next. She said, I want to engage in better healthcare systems. I want to engage in the homelessness, in education and so forth. So she's constantly moving. But for me, like I said, she's always been big time. I've seen her interact with many presidents, senators, and that's just kind of been our life. She's been the chairman of the Juneteenth celebration in Fort Worth for the last 3 decades, and I'm 33 years old, just so you know.
Give us her name for our audience.
Opal Lee, my great grandma. And so for me, it's been, it's necessarily just engulfed in it. It's just kind of been like, that's been her push, her cause, but that's been one of her causes, making Juneteenth not a national holiday and making sure it's recognized. And then she hasn't waited for anybody. She started Black History Museums in Fort Worth. She has a mural downtown Fort Worth. She's in the Texas Teaching Hall of Fame. She's been honored there too. So her work goes beyond just the last 4 or 5 years. But she had this idea that she's going to walk from Fort Worth to Washington, D.C. to raise awareness to make Juneteenth a national holiday. I'll be honest, I called her. I was like, I don't know what you're doing. Like, I was like, you going to walk? And so what she does is she goes to different cities and walks 2.5 miles and kind of trek her way all the way up to the Congress, so forth like that. So last year, it got blocked by one person. It was 1 vote away. And then, this year it passed. And so we're all proud of her. She got, celebrities tagging her on her Instagram now. I can't believe my great grandma has an Instagram. Usher hugged her. I cracked jokes. I was like, man, all these people swarm you because you hugged Usher. Not that you helped make history or the president created basically the entire time he spoke about that bill, spoke about my great grandma. And so to me, that was special to see her dreams come true and to see that come to pass. She never thought she would see a Black president, and she was holding up hope and hoping to make Juneteenth a national holiday as well. She saw two things that she felt like she probably wouldn't see in her lifetime, which to me was major. And a lot of people say, well, we didn't want this or this and that. I say, guys, y'all don't realize like how much work went into getting this bill on the floor and getting it passed. Along that, we haven't had a holiday recognizing a national holiday recognized since Martin Luther King. Like that's, to me, that's major. But for me, my grandma's always been big time. You know what I'm saying? It's just y'all just not realizing that she's big time. She's always walked that walk.
So when the 4th of July came, I was just saying, hey, happy Juneteenth of July, because I'm going to make this last all summer, man.
I said, happy 15 days after Juneteenth. Yeah, man.
Well, man, you definitely have that service, and we talked about this on your previous episode. Your family is service minded, period. And we had this conversation long before anybody was aware that this bill was about to pass. I mean, your family may have had knowledge, but we didn't know. And the fact that you're continuing that legacy, serving in educational capacities and different levels, man, this is amazing. It's a great example for our youth to follow. And when people say, hey, look, are there any positive views of the African-American male in education? I love the fact that I've got somebody in my power circle I can point to and say, hey,
I appreciate that.
I know plenty. and you know what his grandma did, his great grandma did, have a seat, son, let me tell you. So I get to share in what your family has done by passing those stories on. And I think that's our obligation, man. So hats off to you, man. So what's next for her now, man? I mean,
and she's still walking. She's still doing here and there, but she's still going around, engaging, talking about it. But also she just finished up the edits of her children's book. We're working to get her children's book adopted to be curriculum and textbooks here in the state of Texas. And so eventually, like the kind of rule out all the boring stuff. Basically, there's two things, as you know, being in Texas, there's a couple of things we have going on with certain bills being passed about race theory. I'm not going to get into the details of that. However, there are Texas education knowledge standards, TEKS is what we call them, that actually say you have to teach about Juneteenth. And so we're going to use that necessarily as leverage to engage, become a vendor for various school districts so that we can continue to spread that knowledge and get that in there. And so something we talk about in my family about walks and marches and things, they're important, and they're good. Changing policy is better. All right. And so finding ways to integrate ourselves and get in the mix of raising awareness and using that awareness, just like she's done, to change policy. And that's something I've kind of taken with me to various school districts that I've had the opportunity to work in various committees. I'm currently on a couple of different committees for the state, but also for my school district that I can't necessarily disclose because it's inner office, but just know we are working to create equity for all children and making sure that we raise awareness on why certain students aren't performing that are of color or economic or labeled economically disadvantaged or or stricken with poverty. So there's aspects of things we can no longer ignore to make sure that every kid has not only a fair shot, but the same equipment, the same opportunities, and same opportunities as well.
So I'm going to need you to go up to the south side of Chicago where I grew up and, just drop some of this on a couple of streets, man. We'll talk about that in the next episode. But man, this is amazing because, I mean, first of all, I mean, what kind of pressure do you feel, being in a family where,
easy, bro.
Your great grandmother did this? I mean, what are you going to do?
None at all, because we all have our own paths to walk, because everybody in my family ain't perfect either, or on this path. It's just when I truly believe when you align your practices to what God told you and in the steps that he put you in, that I truly believe you begin to excel and your name gets spoken in rooms that you've never stepped in. You know what I'm saying? And so for me, I don't even like telling people she's my great grandma. I mean, eventually they find out or it does, or, not to say I'm not proud of her, just because in aspects of it, I have a mission just as well as she does. Sometimes, they coincide, and sometimes my mission may go on a different path, and so while she's family, I'm not leaning on family or anything per se to make sure that the vision and the things that I've been called to do, I make sure that I do them, and I do them on my own merit.
Awesome, man. That's fantastic. So for anyone in our audience that would like to connect with you and learn more about what your business or your mission from a social action perspective, where would they go?
Yeah, you can go to jtmgservices.com, www.jtmgservices.com, and then also shoot me an email at info@jtmgservices.com, or directly to me. That one goes to my catch-all, joe.roland@jtmgservices.com also.
Hey, that's awesome, man. And if you have anything else going on, you or your great grandma that we can help promote, man, definitely let us know.
I do. I can't disclose it. We actually have 3 or 4 things in the next month that are going to be pretty big for the state of Texas, but also for the nation this time next year. So I can't disclose yet. I'm working with a few organizations that she's a part of that we're actually near and dear to, but I can't talk about. I don't want to give the surprise away of some of the things we're putting together for her in that organization. So I'm excited. You'll see it. You'll see it on my Facebook or probably CNN or something like that. You know what I'm saying? But just know, just look for me in that blue. You know, so I always make sure I'm repping. Harley Home, but always repping Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated. All right, because we are conscious men of vision, and we're about that action, boss.
Evidently. And for those of you who don't know, his line name, he's Big Brother NDA. So that's all we got to say.
Ironically enough, my line name was The Entertainer.
The Entertainer. I love it, man. Hey, this is awesome, man. Hey, I look forward to seeing what you have next, man. And I just want to thank you for spending a couple of minutes sharing your updates with us here on Greekly Speaking, okay?
Hey, man, thank you so much again for the time. It's a pleasure as usual. Maybe in a few years, I'll come back for number 3. I'll have something else to talk about.
Awesome. Hey, he's Joe Roland the Fourth, Phi Beta Sigma, holding it down in education in that Houston, Texas area and making great strides from a social action standpoint with his family. And I love it, man. I'm Eric Tucker. Until next time, catch you on the next episode.